What's up, y'all? It's Zogan here. So I took a shower, and sometimes in the shower, it's like my meditation place, right? And then I have conversations in my head, whether that's with spirit, whatever. It just goes on, and I get lost sometimes, right? It's about etymology today. Right? And I know, took care of the mustache. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so lazy, and like girls hate this shit because they know if a man's taking like effort. You know, I'm too lazy for this shit. Like when I'm on like, if I became like the president, you wouldn't even see me like have time to get like a haircut. Like on some real shit, bro. Like I probably come out of 4 years looking like I have a big ass beard, all of this shit. Like the role of being a president is just that high to me. You know what I mean? Because bro, you're responsible for like 350, 400 million, a billion people, right? It's like it's not like you sell your soul, but you give your life to the people for those 4 years. You know. But some people like they be doing vacations and shit. They don't even take the shit serious. Like I don't even know. Like there's levels to shit. I know. I digress. Right? It's etymology, right? So you guys know that I made like my own language like add-on thing to the English language, right? Now, the idea that came to me with the conversation was about curse words. Now, what are curse words, right? Excuse my language. Fuck, bitch, pussy, blah 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 blah, right? Now, why is it called a cursed word? In a world of etymology where like words are magic and they speak to the subconscious, right? So I'm at the sleep eye level. My subconscious is basically already here. I propelled it forward. And I can analyze this stuff, and it's good to know. But etymology was mainly used back in the day when people weren't that educated or smart, so they would be able to learn the words a little bit better, or to help them out. And you can trick people sometimes. And I'll go into a little bit of examples if I remember, right? So depending on the connotation or the context of which I use that word, it will dictate whether it is a bad word or a good word. Don't put this on loud, you know what I mean? I just got some pussy last night. What does that mean to you? Woman, right? You had sex. Yo, them boys over there, they're all pussy. Let's run up. What does that mean to you? They get, well, in hip hop language, because like, culture matters. All mandoms in hip hop, we say, yo, I'm gonna beat that pussy up, right? And then girls like that talk. Some girls like that talk when they get a little bit aggressive. They like the aggressive mandem, and they ask guys to beat it up. You know what I mean? So that same type of notion actually got brought forward over there. You know what I mean? And I'd be like, that's why like you might see me around the block, right? Or you just see, okay, not me. You might see like mans around the block, right? And they see their ops, they be like, yo, pussy. You know what I mean? You don't see fucking girls turn around like this, like what? What? No, no. Some dude's gonna look around and be like, who the fuck said that shit? So language actually matters. If you learn the English language, especially, you're gonna have to really learn this shit. That shit matters. Now here's another thing, right? And I was thinking about this. Guys, I don't know like the full story, whatever, or the full details, right? Because it's a story in my head, and I forget things. You know how when there were slavery times, and there were some black dudes who were like buddy buddy with the quote unquote massa, um, the slave owner, or like the slave plant owner dude, whatever that was. Somehow, some of these black dudes got so wrapped up in finding validation, finding achievement, and whatever it was. So they would demean the people over their own skin color. Right? If y'all ever watched Boondocks, it's like Uncle Ruckus shit. Like, can you just imagine this shit, right? Let's say me and you on a slave farm, right? I probably was. I've been here for fucking how many lives, bro? How many lives have I been here? And then we just see some boy who just got like a promotion at the slave farm, whatever it was. And then all of us are talking like, this nigga's gonna change, bro. Watch, bro. Like, what do you mean he's gonna change, bro? He's been with us, bro. He came off the boat. Watch, bro. Man starts coming up to us in the fields, the cotton fields, and starts fucking bickering at us. And I'm like, yo, like you were just here like a week ago. And you know what I mean? And like So the language is dependent on culture as well, right? So when you learn the English language, it's a little bit different and tricky because it depends on the culture and it grows with the culture. I don't know how many words are added every year in the English language compared to like other countries in the world, like in Mandarin, whatever. Like I think you guys sort of just have like a fixed amount. You know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, right? Depends on the culture. So we had that type of situation and shit like that. There was also this that came into my mind, right? Slang, and it goes into like the expansion of curse words, right? So forgive my language. I've been called the ER word before, and you know the presence of that word, and you were taught what it was, all of this stuff. The ER word to me is global, actually. It's about, y'all can call it whatever they want. It's actually a dark skin thing. It's actually a dark skin thing. The light skinned people, I'm not trying to bring racism into this, but light skinned people have always sort of been a little bit up on us for whatever reason. I don't know what the fuck that was, but they've always been a little bit up on us. And shit happens. Now my ADHD is kicking in. I forgot what I was saying. Forgive me. I'm a little bit high. Oh yeah. So the slang, right? If I shorten, so let's say for example, right now I'm in the KKK or like some random ass racist group, whatever. They're still out here, and I say it to my buddy, right? So we're having a situation, and I'm like, "Yo, Billy, man, I can't be saying the hard ER word anymore, bro. They're gonna kick me. They're gonna beat my ass in the streets. They're gonna beat my ass in the comments. They're gonna cancel me. They're gonna call my employer. They're gonna do this, and that. And then, whoever, Zach, whatever the fuck his name is, right? He's in the room with me. He's like, bro, we need a new word because the old word's not hitting anymore. What do we say? Right? And for this connotation, I'm gonna say ers, right? If I start going around the block and I'm like, yo, what up, my ers? And I'm saying it directly at black people, a group of black people, they're gonna look at me like, well, excuse me? Like, what do you mean by that? I'll do like that ASAP Rocky smile. I'm like, what do you mean? And go on, tell me, you know? And the whole time, like, all the niggas in the whole area already know what's going on. All my niggas know they're gonna set them up. Context matters. And the curse words will evolve through time. They will evolve through culture. And I used to think, right, that etymology, because it's like strictly subconscious dependent, I'm like, does everyone not know what's going on? Well, some people do know what's going on, but their conscious is not of the guilty measure. Their conscious is of the innocent measure, the more justice. I don't even know how to say these words, but I hope someone can find my words for me. It's funny. I'm asking someone to basically break down my words, and it's like it's etymology video, right? So it's like sometimes you don't have the words, speechless, whatever. All of that stuff matters, right? And I used to think, I'm like, okay, bro, like someone's talking to me, like how does this etymology shit really work? Like work, and I break down words, right? And then I went through the history of time and I broke down like Jesus Christ's name. I think in NW303 language episode 3, I broke down the name. I'm like, yo, like it's written right here, but it doesn't really make sense. But it makes a little bit sense when you actually sort of piece the puzzle of life. So I look around, I look around at like the history of like everything, and I'm like, where did this shit start from, right? So if you don't know, um, and this is what I don't understand what happened in Africa, right? Before the black people, the black kings and the queens, I think they were called Negus, Negus, and Neguses, like the woman version. I don't know. Forgive me. You know what they did? They tried to find a word, or they took like their highest. So the highest person in the city, or the king, queen, whatever, was a Negus, right? They took that word and they changed it, and they just added an er or whatever it was, right? And they started calling everyone that word. And that word, that the royalty of being a Negus, a Neguses. I'm sorry if I don't know the woman version, but the royalty of that word got destroyed. And they took down like their whole people's like morality. They stained them on like the history of mankind, the history of language. They stained them. So a black king was actually a negus or negus. Okay, I don't know the exact pronunciation, right? That's what it was. And so they destroyed the whole fucking like the hierarchy, the literature hierarchy in a smart way, right? So right now, if I let's say there's like a okay, let's say in my language, right? There's like a different variation of king and queen, right? There's like an like a random ass word, like okay, I'm gonna make up some shit, right? Whatever. Like there's a Martian word for queen, okay? And I find the Martian people and I do all this shit, and then I take their royal names and I make it the name of the people on the bottom, and the people at the bottom at that time were the slaves. You guys understand how like you guys see like sort of like that picture here? So when we take down kingdoms, well, I don't want to say we, but when they take down kingdoms, this is what they would do. They would destroy you by your language. They would do all this shit. I think it's like a little bit like assimilation. You know, they did that to like the natives and stuff. This is like it goes deep. You know what I mean? Um, so the context of shit really goes fucking crazy sometimes. And you could use language to either build a society or destroy a society. So if I want to do independence, my country is under royal rule. I need to find ways to distribute that power away from that name. So I'll develop a whole system under that name. And the people will come to say, we don't need kings and queens anymore. We have different power structures now. Right? So one day, like people are gonna take this video, they're gonna like probably play in like some history classes one day, or like some there's a hawk there. They're gonna play like, you know, someone's gonna like put like a little hawk over here. Someone's gonna like, you know, you guys are gonna learn from this video, right? And then when you actually study the history of civilizations, the history of religions, the history of like people, you have to think differently because many of you are thinking, pardon me, but many of you are thinking like a civilian still. You're still thinking like a peasant. Like your mindset is different when you see a problem. But when I see a problem, maybe it's because I'm a man of God, my mind is different. I'm like, there's layers here. We have to go deeper, 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 deeper. And then I find the root cause of the problems. You understand? And being an actual leader, Pharaoh, apostle, Brahmin, I've been probably all of these. Getting to this point is crucial one day because one day people are going to really, like, they're going to wake up and they're going to see that some terminology gets introduced into society, right? And then people start saying, I'll give you an example, right? Let's say I make a new LGBTQ saying and I want to take down the society over here, right? But I want to get into people's heads. And I'm like, okay, you know what, bro? I'm gonna be a curtain, all the like whatever. I'm looking at curtains, right? And in that thing, it's like, okay, people now have sexual attraction to curtains. People in society will start to say, what do you mean there are people attracted to curtains? And then some people will look at some curtains, they can be like, yeah, I could do something with that still. Because I gave people that idea that something like this exists. Some of you, your bodies, your mind will reject it, but some people aren't like, you know, fully up there. Not to say they're fully up there. Okay, forgive me. Bad language. They're not fully like understanding of what's really going on. Who the fuck would fall in love with a curtain? I swear to God, guys, if like in 50 years from now, if I ever see this shit actually becoming a thing, I'm just gonna go into the Bermuda Triangle, bro. Like at a certain point, I'm just done. But anyways, if I wanted to take down a society, I would introduce new philosophies, new concepts. I would create division. And people would think, oh, it's their free choice. They want to do this, they want to do this, but it's because I gave them that idea. If they didn't know, they wouldn't have talked about it. It's like how in China, they don't even know there's freedom of speech. A lot of people are like, oh, this is normal life. What is freedom of speech? They don't even know because they're censored. So taking down civilizations is much more deeper than the CIA, FBI, Interpol, any of these people really think. Pharaoh Zogan, Apostle Zogan, Brahmin Zogan, I've been here. Kaliman.